but if he give me a match, yeah, I think no.
You don't think so?
No.
If Dmitry win, you think he would not give you a rematch?
No.
Why do you say that, Artur?
I think like
Just your gut.
I know like
Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev just sat down to review their first fight, and this time they didn't hold back.
I watched both.
What do you think when you watch it, Dmitry?
Oh, I just saw good moments.
You, Artur, did you see things that you could do better next time?
yeah, yes.
What are they? Can you tell me?
Yeah, I will tell you.
Watching the footage, they weren't just reliving the fight, they were analyzing their performance, looking for ways to get better. Dmitry was the first to share his thoughts, while keeping his response simple and direct. "Oh, I just saw good moments, bad moments," he said. It was clear he believed in learning from the experience and moving forward rather than dwelling too much on the past. When Artur was asked if he saw areas where he could improve, without hesitation, he admitted there were things he could do better. "Yeah, yes," he responded. But when asked what they were, he kept his answer vague. "We will tell you after the fight." This is the thing about both these fighters. In every interview, they keep their future strategies hidden, which is a smart move on their part because you don't want to lay all your cards on the table this early in the game, right?
Here we are going into round 4. How do you feel you are doing, Artur? You think you're in front or you think it's a close fight?
As they rewatched the fight, the interviewer pointed out how wild that first round was. Both guys came out swinging, landing clean shots right from the start. He mentioned that Beterbiev was starting to find his rhythm, but it was clear that neither of them was holding back. At the same time, he gave Dmitry some credit for how smoothly he moved, staying light on his feet and avoiding damage while still landing his own shots. Then came the big question. When you were going back to the corner, were you nice and relaxed? Artur responded calmly, "Yes, and try to do something, what might Connorman tell me," he said, explaining that he was focused on following his team's advice. He knew adjustments had to be made, and he was locked in on executing them. "I want to try to do this," he added, showing that he was thinking about strategy even in the middle of the fight. By the time they got to the 4th round, the interviewer wanted to know how they were feeling about the fight so far. "How do you feel you are doing? Do you think you're in front or do you think it's a close fight?" Artur's response showed his tunnel vision in this moment. "I'm fighting, and I think about score is too tough, too complicated," he admitted. In his mind, worrying about the score didn't matter. His job was to fight, stay sharp, and do what needed to be done. For Artur, we've seen how his faith matters a lot to him. This
one day or day one.
clip is the perfect visualization of it and how much his craft matters to him. But not just for Artur, it was clear from their review that both fighters were fully locked in during the fight, focused more on their performance than anything else. Rather than overthinking every round, they trusted their instincts and their corners to guide them through, proving that at the highest level, it's not just about skill, it's about their mindset. And counters.
It's the type of fight, Dmitry, and you have been in many. Every round was intense. Is that a fair comment? Every second of every round was hard.
Yeah, of course. It's most of the time you should be in focus. Not good things happen when you lose your focus.
Because in the past, sometimes when you've had fights over 12 rounds, which have been, you've won every round, sometimes you maybe are not as focused as you were in this fight. Is that a fair comment?
No, I was focused.
In this fight you were focused, definitely, yeah. You can see your eyes.
Yeah. I was focused.
Again!
Some moves which I shouldn't, and sometimes I did good stuff. It's not about losing focus or not. This is not that fight.
Speaking of mindset, the interviewer brought up how non-stop the fight was, pointing out that both fighters had been in tough battles before, but this one had no breaks. Every second of every round was intense, with no easy moments. This requires a different level of patience and strength. He asked Dmitry if that was a fair way to describe it. Dmitry agreed, saying, yeah, of course. Most of the time, you have to stay focused. Not good things happen when you lose your focus. He understands that in his previous fights, he dominated all 12 rounds. It was easier to maintain control without needing to be as locked in every second, but this fight was different. When asked if he was as focused in this fight as in his previous ones, he was clear about it. "No, I was focused. I was in this fight." Yeah, you can see my eyes. Yeah, I was focused. As they reviewed more footage from their fight together, the conversation shifted to how close some of the rounds were. It was clear that these rounds could have gone either way. Dmitry admitted that he made some mistakes, but also had good moments. I did some mistakes, some moves which I shouldn't, and sometimes I did good stuff. However, he made it clear that this wasn't a fight where he lost focus at any point. It's not about losing focus or not. This is not that fight where I lost my focus. For Dmitry, it wasn't about whether he was locked in, it was about execution. In a fight this intense, every small mistake mattered, and he knew exactly where he could have been better. Even though Bivol is quite humble in recognizing his mistakes, he's the kind of boxer who never seems panicked. It's a smart move on his part, not letting stress or panic show during a big fight. There was no panic. I knew that he could move forward like this and under pressure. This is his good side. He had expected Beterbiev to be aggressive, constantly pushing forward, so nothing about it caught him off guard. However, he made a small distinction. It's not about I knew, it's about I was expecting it, that it could be. For him, it wasn't just about knowing what Beterbiev would do, it was about being mentally prepared for it and having a game plan in place. The pressure was relentless, but he had trained for it, and that's why he was able to stay calm even in the most intense moments.
Did you expect what Dmitry did? Was there anything that he did that surprised you?
Every round can be surprised, you know. But he did good. He did good.
When you're watching this now, Artur, what are you thinking? We are in round maybe 8. What are you thinking when you watch this?
You know, you're always looking for some mistakes, what you did. You know,
What you did wrong.
Yeah, what you did wrong. Like, you know, you always only these points I see there. Like, that's.
The interviewer then turned to Artur, asking if anything about Dmitry's performance had caught him off guard. Artur admitted that every round in a fight like this can bring surprises, but overall, Dmitry did well. Every round can bring surprises, you know, but he did good. He did good. As they rewatched the later rounds, the interviewer asked Artur what was going through his mind at that point in the fight. Artur explained that when reviewing a fight, he mainly looks for mistakes, things he could have done better. You're always looking for mistakes, what you did wrong, he said. That was his main focus while watching the footage back. I only see those points. That's it. One thing about Artur is that he doesn't care about what went right for him to win this fight. He is more focused on what went wrong and figuring out how to fix these gaps in his game for next time.
Seldom being, it looks like it's going to go the distance. First time as a professional. What was going through your mind in the 11th and 12th round?
You know, like, again, like, don't think like you thinking, you know.
I'm watching, you're part.
I'm fighting, and don't think like these things. I want to do. I'm just listening
To the corner.
my corner, and that's it. I do every round. Like, they give me some instruction, and I try to do them.
As the fight entered the championship rounds, the interviewer brought up an important point. Artur was in uncharted territory. This was the first time in his professional career that it looked like he might go the full 12 rounds. Up until now, he had finished every opponent before the final bell, so this was a new challenge. But Artur made it clear he wasn't overthinking anything. You know, I don't think too much. I'm not watching it like a spectator. I'm just fighting, he said. He wasn't standing there calculating how much time was left or worrying about the distance. His mind was locked in on the moment, reacting to everything happening inside the ring. I don't think about those things. I just listen to my corner. That's it. For him, it was simple. His team gave him instructions and he followed them. No distractions, no extra thoughts, just doing what he was trained to do. Every round, they give me instructions, and I try to do them. He wasn't counting rounds, thinking about history, or getting caught up in the idea of going 12 for the first time. It was just about staying sharp and following the game plan.
A particularly draining fight, Dmitry, because was it hard on your body? Were you very tired at the end?
I just should show more. Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't because of the tired.
And what about you, Artur? Were you tired at the end?
I prefer if we have a couple rounds more.
15 rounds.
Yeah,
Old school.
yeah.
But you told me you're not a student of boxing, but now you're talking about 15 rounds.
Yeah, like, but because I'm not good boxer, I need more rounds.
As the fight wrapped up, the conversation shifted. The interviewer turned to Dmitry and asked if the fight had been exhausting. Given the pace, the power shots, and the constant pressure, was he completely drained by the end? Dmitry didn't think fatigue was the problem. He felt he could have done more. I just should have shown more, he said. It wasn't about being too tired, it was about execution. Even after such a physically demanding fight, he was focused on what he could have improved. Then the focus moved back to Artur. Surely, after such a grueling battle, he must have been exhausted. But Artur wasn't fazed. If anything, he sounded like he wanted more. I'd prefer if we had a couple more rounds, 15 rounds. That response caught the interviewer off guard. In the past, Artur had admitted he wasn't really a student of boxing history, so why was he suddenly bringing up 15-round fights? Artur's answer was classic. Yeah, but because I'm not a good boxer, I need more rounds, he said with a grin. I need more rounds to improve. For Artur, it's all about learning, growing, and always striving to be better. And in the search for that, he does become extra sung sometimes, and that's what separated him from most fighters.
So at the end, Dmitry, did you feel you had done enough to win the decision?
I had these feelings, but it doesn't matter which feelings you have. But at the same time, I felt that I had to do better this, that.
And what about you, Artur? Were you confident that you would get the decision?
Yes, but you know, it's like first time in my boxing career, like
With distance
and to.
As the final bell rang, there was only one thing left to do: wait for the judge's decision. After such a close and intense fight, the big question was, did Dmitry feel like he had done enough to win? Dmitry admitted that at the moment he believed he might have edged it. I had this feeling, he said, but at the same time, he knew that personal feelings didn't matter when it came to the scorecards. What truly counted was what actually happened in the ring and how the judges saw it. It doesn't matter which feelings you have, he added. Even though he thought he had performed well, he wasn't completely satisfied. At the same time, I felt that I had to do better. He knew that every little moment in the fight mattered, and perhaps there were things he could have done differently to secure a clearer victory. Then the interviewer turned to Artur. Did he feel confident that he had done enough to get the win? Artur didn't hesitate. Yes, he said. He believed he had done what was necessary, but he also acknowledged that this was a completely new experience for him. You know, it's like the first time in my boxing career, I had to go the distance, and to listening judges, he explained. Up until this fight, he had never needed to hear the judge's decision, because he had finished all his opponents early, and that too with knockouts. The physical test was one thing, but now, for the first time, he had to stand there and listen as the judges decided his fate.
It was over, Dmitry. When you watched it back, did you feel you won it? You know, when you're watching, it's a different sensation.
No, I didn't watch it in this way.
Okay.
I promised myself that I will not counting rounds, I will not complaining on something. I will watch only to see where I made mistakes. That's it. Doesn't matter.
No, because it happened. It's gone.
Happened. It's gone. Yeah. Now we have another fight.
And how soon after the fight did you want to have a rematch? And how soon after the fight did you want to have a rematch? Was it straight away or 1 week, 1 month?
I said in the ring that after the fight, but I don't remember exactly. But I wanted, of course, when the athlete is losing, of course he wants revenge.
Yeah.
And of course I'm the same.
After a fight of this magnitude, looking back at what happened is inevitable. When asked if he had watched the fight back and still believed he had won, Dmitry didn't focus on the decision itself. Instead, he explained that watching a fight is completely different from being in the ring. You know, when you're watching, it's a different sensation. But he wasn't interested in rehashing the outcome. No, I didn't watch it in this way. I promised myself that I will not count rounds. I will not complain about something. For him, there was only one reason to watch. I will watch only to see where I made mistakes. That's it. His mindset was simple. There was no point in dwelling on what had already happened. It doesn't matter. It's gone. It happened. It's gone. Now we have another fight. The conversation naturally moved to the rematch. Dmitry made it clear that the desire for a rematch was immediate. I said it in the ring after the fight, but I don't remember exactly. Still, he didn't hesitate when asked if he wanted another shot. Of course. When an athlete loses, of course he wants revenge. And of course, I'm the same.
Were you thinking, because since then you're 1 year older, are you thinking maybe that it's time to walk away? Are you thinking about walking away at some point?
We'll see. Like my words, eh?
Yeah, I do like your words, yeah. And if you had have got the decision on the night and it had been tight, would you have given Artur a rematch?
Why I should think what if this, what if that? We are in reality now.
So could we have a third fight?
Like you ask him about if he give me a match.
It's clear that fighters fight for themselves, and Artur seems to believe that too. When the idea of a rematch was brought up, his answer was straight to the point. He didn't think Dmitry would have given him one if the situation had been reversed. You ask him about if he give me rematch? Yeah, I think no. Dmitry dismissed the question, saying that reality is what matters, not speculation. Why I should think, what if this, what if that? We are in reality now. It was a practical mindset, one that showed he was focused on moving forward rather than rewriting the past.
Changed since the fight? During the fight? Post-fight?
I don't know. I don't care. Does he changed or not? I have to work on myself. I should make some changes.
So you're only worried about Dmitry Bivol's changes?
That doesn't matter. If you worry about somebody else, it will be draining.
And his determination seems as strong as it can be. After a fight like this, opinions can change. Fighters gain a new level of respect for each other. But when Bivol was asked if his opinion of Artur had changed since the fight, Dmitry's answer was blunt. I don't know. I don't care does he changed or not, he said. For Dmitry, it wasn't about analyzing his opponent, it was about focusing on himself. I have to work on myself, I should make some changes. Doesn't matter, if you worry about somebody else, it will be draining. You should worry about yourself. The only thing that matters is making himself better for his revenge. Dmitry and Artur may have different perspectives, but they both share an unshakable focus on what's next. Do you think Dmitry would have given Artur a rematch if the roles were reversed? Let us know in the comments. Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev just sat down to review their first fight, and this time they didn't hold back.